a question from Marina Belkina from Russian Talk or TV, a Russian TV channel. The cases of the new COVID-19 variant Omicron has been found already in many cases, as you mentioned, and not just in African countries. What measures did the government, New South Wales government, applying or planning to apply to prevent the further spread of the virus from international travels? Minister Ward.
Thank you, Jess, and thank you, Marina, for the question. It's an important one. We will continue in New South Wales as a government to maintain those measures and increase penalties for non-compliance as it continues to take, we want to take that precautionary approach to quarantine arrangements for our overseas arrivals in line with the additional national border security measures by the Australian government. So we want to be consistent with those. So travellers arriving in New South Wales from those countries that Dr. Gale mentioned, they have to be ensuring that if they've been in those countries during the 14 days before their arrival in New South Wales, they must enter into hotel quarantine for 14 days, irrespective of their vaccination status. We just want to make sure we're taking those precautions. All other overseas travellers, so from countries not listed in those African countries, they must complete a PCR test and isolate for 72 hours at a nominated address or accommodation. So a little bit more flexibility there with those other countries. People will only be able to exit that isolation at the end of the 72-hour period if they've received a negative result. And after exiting that isolation, they must complete an additional PCR test on day 6 after arrival and comply with the ongoing health guidelines for recent fully vaccinated arrivals. So we're just putting some really clear guidelines around those so that people understand that we're helping to protect the community. But to do so, we will increase penalties for non-compliance with isolation and testing and quarantine requirements. And those penalties will be $5,000 for individuals, that's up from $1,000, and $10,000 for corporations. And that has taken effect from today. So I just wanted to be clear, the Premier was clear about that. We are very well prepared here in New South Wales. Everyone has done a lot of hard work, but it is important that we don't lose that hard work, that we take those necessary steps to protect our community and adopt those measures that will allow us to learn to live with COVID as we are. So we're very clear about those going forward.